Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this one I will be showing how to properly implement a save and load system through Game Creator. I might get a little more in-depth by the end and show you how to save and load, say, equipped items on a character, stuff like that. That will require stats too though, the way I do it, but for now I will show you a basic save load through menus and new games, continue games, stuff like that. So we'll get into it right now. I'm also thinking about redoing the entire survival series too, but the tutorial series, just because I'm better at what I do now and I could probably showcase it a lot easier. So anyways, here we are with pretty much a new scene. I got my camera still, and then I've pre-created a world for the main menu. I'll show that at the end, but I got the light, so it's camera and light. Entirely new scene. So to start off, I'm going to be doing this for mobile just to showcase as well different screen sizes and how to properly scale your menus as well. That's really important. Something recently I figured out how to do. So to start off, assuming your Game Creator 2 is installed, we will be creating a brand new canvas. Okay, and I'm just going to slide the event system up here, replace the input system as well. And then for the canvas, we will be scaling this with a 1920 by 1080. And make sure it's scaled with screen size. And then let's create a panel underneath of that. And we're just going to change the opacity down to nothing. We're going to keep the panel on stretch. And under panel, I'm going to create an empty called menu UI. This as well is going to be stretch. And under that, we will create an image and call it our menu. And I'm going to have this menu down in the bottom right here. So let's find that. And I'm going to make it a little bigger, so something like that. Put that right here. And I'm going to anchor it to the bottom right as well. And actually, before I do that, I meant to make our menu stretch out the same size as the panel. And then we'll move our menu down to the bottom right. Anchor it to bottom right here. So there you go. That's going to be our basic menu. There, that's what I want. I'm going to make it black with a lower opacity. And like I said earlier, I'm going to be redoing the series. I'm in the middle of a new survival series that I'm going to start putting videos out soon. I just want to get a couple videos pre-made because I can really only do that stuff on the weekend. So I don't want to push out a bunch of videos and have you guys wait a week. I'm going to pre-record a bunch, release maybe one daily, and it will be starting off with a menu as well. So I wanted to get the tutorial out there first, let you guys practice before I do it again. So right off the bat, so now that we have our menu anchored to the bottom right, I'm going to create an empty in here and call it new game. And I'm going to scale that up to the same size as the menu as well. Create a game creator button under that new game. And I'm just going to drag and drop it under. Recenter it, and let's just change it up size wise. Something like that should do. And this button is going to say new game. Now I already have fonts installed, so I'm going to add a custom font to that and just make it a little bigger. Alright, so that is our new game button. I am going to duplicate new game, rename it to continue game, and then change that text to continue. I might just take the word game out of there completely. And then I'm going to duplicate the button, drag it down here, and this will be delete game. Alright, and then I can showcase that new games and stuff like that work, so I'm going to just rename the buttons here to be more organized. Button play, button delete, and button new. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is, so when I made my scene, I put everything under an empty called game load. So for my game load, I am going to create a trigger on start, and we are going to be running a condition. And we will add the condition right on the game load itself and drag it up there. And in the branch it will be if, and then type in save. So if has save is true, then we will set active our continue game to true and our new game to false. Duplicate that branch. If has save game false, then we will set new game to true, continue game to false. I'm just going to save that right there. So that is our, I guess, pre-game load up, determining whether or not we have a save game or not. And let's see. So that works already. We just have to add functions to the buttons. So for new game, I am going to load scene. Alright, now I already have a game scene ready to go, so I'm going to load my game scene. And then for my button play, we are not going to do load scene, but we will be doing load game, because this determines if we have the save game or not and whether or not to load it. Button delete, we will be deleting our save game. And I am going to wait 0.1 seconds and then load scene of our main menu. I'm going to save it there. Make sure we have these in our build settings, which I do. Alright, and that's a functioning main menu right there on the spot. I'm going to turn on my world just because I've already designed it, so now it looks a little more legit. So there we go. And then we were going to go into a game scene before we even test this. And I'm going to create a new canvas. And drag that up somewhere up here. And the event system, replace with input. So for this scene, I've designed a very basic, so I shouldn't be much further than you. I literally have a plane with 4 more planes, and I will be using this to show you that the save game works simply by moving a character here, quitting, rejoining, and he will still be there. And then we will go back, delete the game, and he should start back off in the middle. So right off the bat, I am going to create a character. So make a player for yourself and a camera shot. And I'm going to change it to our main camera and a follow target. I'm just going to change these up a little bit. Okay. And get our player out of the ground there. There we go. Now, for the canvas, we will be doing pretty much the same thing. Create scale with screen size, 1920, 1080, and then create that panel underneath of it. Change that opacity down, and in that panel I'm going to create an empty. I'm going to call it, let's say, menu UI, and we are going to scale it to the same size as the panel again. Change it to stretch, and let's see, I'm going to create an image. I'm going to make it something like that. I'm going to move it to the top right. I'm going to anchor it to the top right. I'm going to rename it menu. Change it back to black with a lower opacity. And I'm going to create a separate button, game creator button. And I'm going to drag and drop it under menu UI, not the menu itself. Okay. And I'm going to move that all the way to the top right here. Change that down smaller. Alright, so that's going to go in the top right corner as well. I'm going to anchor that to the top right. Adjust our menu a little bit here. And oops. Delete the text in that, and I'm going to change the image just because I have a image pack already. I was hoping I had some kind of gears for a setting. This works here. So that will be like our button to open the menu. And then on this button, we are going to run conditions, create our conditions within the button, drag it up, add branch, if, and then we're going to go to game objects is active. So if menu is not active, then we will set active to menu. Duplicate that branch. If menu is active, then we will set menu to false. Alright, and within our menu we will create two buttons. Game creator UI button. Bring that back where it should be. Drag it up here. And let's just make it a little bigger. And I meant to make that a Text Mesh Pro, but I misclicked there, so I'm going to redo that. And let's just center that out. Make it so we can see it. Right, save game. I'm going to duplicate this button, put it down here. This will be our quit game. Alright, so for the button that saves it, we will add a save game action, and maybe after you save it, it will set active the menu to false. Okay, for this button, we will just simply load scene. And that will be our main menu scene. Alright. So now, in our player, I am going to add the remember component. So this will remember our position, rotation, and scale. You can add more to it, but for now this is what I'm showcasing. And I'm going to set our menu to false right now. Alright. This should be a basic setup here. I am going to showcase now, so I'm going to go back to our menu scene. And let's give this a shot. It's right off the bat, because we don't have a save yet. It's just a new game for us. going to click new game. I didn't generate my lighting, so the lighting's a bit off, but I'm going to walk up to green here. Open our menu, save game, and then quit. Now it's a continue game or a delete game. So if I hit continue, we should be on green again. There you have it. Back on green. And then I'm going to quit game, delete my game, new game, and I am still on green for some reason. So to prevent that, I should have done this off the start, but we're going to go back to our game scene and put everything in a game load again. Alright, and then on your game load, you're going to add the same thing you did at the main menu. On start, run conditions, add conditions, and add a branch. So if has save, and then if not has save. Okay, and I'm going to go onto our player, create an empty, call it spawn. I'm going to add a marker to that, and then I'm going to drag spawn out of player. I just did that just so it was centered on our player already. Alright, so on our game load, if has save game, I guess we don't really need that one. I'm going to delete that branch. If not has save game, then teleport our player to our spawn. And that should fix it. So we're going to play that. And I'm just going to quit to the menu right off the bat here. Alright, so we're still at a new game because we never saved since last time or this time, so I'm going to click new game. We're going to move over here, save game, quit game. I'm going to continue, see that we're still here, quit game, delete game, new game, and now we're back at our spawn. There you have it. That is the basics of a save game, if that's what you needed. Now, assuming you have stats too, I will show you how to save equipment to your character and start off with said equipment already equipped. So let's get to that. So I am going to create a game creator stats class, call it player. Then I'm going to create a game creator stats attributes, call it equipped. And I'm going to create another one under stat called max equipped. Alright, make sure you change the IDs to the same thing. And I'm going to change the value, say, to 10. So this isn't for anything specific. Say if you wanted specific weapons equipped, create this under weapon equip, max weapon equip. If you have 10 weapons in your game, change this to 10. That's what that's for. And then equipped is also going to be called equipped here. And then I'm going to drag the max thing here for it. Alright. And then add these both to the player class. And then give our player those traits. Traits, player, there we go. So I have max equip and equip. So for equip, right off the bat, the start percent we want to 0. And for the remember, we are going to add our attributes to that. Alright. So let's just pretend that our player has armor. Alright, we'll pretend this equipped and max equipped is for armor. So I'm going to create an empty here called armor. And I'm going to create 2 sets here. So I'm going to create a cube. Whoops. I'm going to call this one armor 1. And with armor 1, I am going to change the material just to tell the difference here. So it's going to be purple. I'm going to take the box collider off as well. And let's make it fit me a little better here. Alright. I am going to duplicate that. Actually, not just yet. So on armor 1, I'm going to add a component, trigger, on enable, and we're going to find the attributes. So change attribute, player, equipped, set to 1. Okay, I'm going to duplicate that now. So this is armor 2. I'm going to change this to red, and I am going to set the equipped to number 2. Okay, deactivate that. And on our armor itself, I'm going to create another trigger. Trigger on start, run conditions, and the conditions being, I'm also going to add a 0.1 second wait before that. And then we're going to drag the conditions up here. Sorry, that's not 0.1, that's a 1. 0.1, and then these conditions add a branch if stats compare attribute player equipped value equals 1, then we will set active armor 1. And duplicate branch if player equipped equals 2, set active armor 2 to true. Now, that works, but it can be buggy once you have an entire outfit system, all that, if you've gone that far. So, back to your armors. Armor 1, trigger, on enable. Yes, it sets it to number 1, but also you want to set active, say armor 2 to false, just to be safe, so you don't have more than one thing equipped, because sometimes it can bug out like that depending on how you write the script. So to be safe, that's what you do. For number 2, we will set active to 1 to false. Okay, so now that should work just fine, but there's still a slight issue of when you create your game, or sorry, when you save your game and then say you have armor 1 equipped, and then you go back and you delete your game and you start a new game, armor 1 will still be there. So to prevent that, we're going to create an empty, call it game reset. I'm going to drag this somewhere near the top and shut it off. But we're going to add the trigger on enable. We are going to set any stat or attribute back to 0. So player equipped set to 0. And we're going to keep that disabled. And on our game load, if we don't have a save game, it will teleport our player back to spawn and also set active our game reset to true. Now, if has save game, so this is where I duplicate that, make it as save game, I am going to just completely destroy the game reset function so it doesn't happen ever, just to be safe. Now, this should be a fully functional save item thing, I guess. And this goes for anything, whether it's weapons, armor, even items like consumables, potions, food, whatever it is you're making. That should work now, so we're going to test this. Alright, starting from a completely new game. So, new game. And I'm going to move over here. And I'm also going to set, so we don't have any way of equipping that armor within game, so I'm going to have to do that manually right here. So we're going to set armor to 1, and as of right now, our player's traits equipped is 0. So if I do 1, that should set our player trait to 1, I believe it was. So yeah, that's now 1. I'm going to save my game in the blue here with the purple armor equipped. I'm going to quit. and I'm going to continue. So now I still have my armor equipped here. Alright. I'm going to quit our game, and I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to start over. Our player equip should be back down to 0, and that is it. That is your basic save functions within Game Creator. I hope that helps. Again, you can use that for so many different things, as long as you got the proper stats and stuff set up for it, like that. So, yeah. Do what you will with that. I will be touching down more on that within the new survival series I'm making. And to reiterate on that, I'm going to completely start it from scratch. I'm also going to be redoing most of the tutorial videos that I've done in the past, just simply because I'm not much better at Game Creator 2 now. I've had a year to learn it since I've made those videos, so expect those soon. The next video will probably be a getting started with Game Creator 2, so anyways, hope you enjoyed, hope that helped, and I will see you guys fairly soon in the next video, whether it's me restarting the series or just another quick tutorial. Alright, have a good one guys. Sorry about the long 26-minute video, but hope it helps.